But I understand that point of view because it's kind of like I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but here's how we as the public honor or cherish the people that are in the limelight of artists such as Whitney Houston. Up until right after Madonna, I think between Madonna, Janet Jackson, and Whitney, I think it went in that pattern where they ruled female pop music. So she was always winning AMA, American Music Awards. She was always winning Grammy Awards. She was getting movie roles. She did Waiting to Exhale, that sold pretty good. I mean, think about that movie, Waiting to Exhale, 4 middle-aged black women talking about dating and relationships. That movie never came out before. You know, we never saw that movie in that particular way. So for us to support the art, you know, that people that passed away did, that's our way of appreciating what they did. Of course, when somebody dies, you have to give the right respect, to honor, you know, the passing of someone. You're not going to do that when they're alive, but the way you do it is you support them. You know, you go buy their music. You go watch their movies or whatever. So I mean, in that respect, everybody, if they pass and they made a powerful impact in the arts, whether it's a singer, a rapper, or something, yeah, you're gonna get a lot of accolades. Because I mean, if it was felt by millions, it was felt by millions. Bottom line.
And plus, I'm sorry, Marcus. Plus, with that, you don't want to give them so much notoriety while they're still living. I mean, you'll give them a tribute every now and then on a certain award show or something and like that. But you're going to really push them at the time of their passing because, again, you're remembering what they did for you and how they touched your life and your soul. And, you know, those are the experiences. You live on through my memory. I may miss my grandmother to death. I know how she was for me. I know what she did for me and everything. To me, she died in 1994. But guess what? She's still alive inside of me. And that's what we're doing with Whitney. We're still carrying her on. We're still remembering her. We're still living through her. I mean, I'm sure YouTube about blew up Saturday night and Sunday morning.
Yeah. I mean, it all did. I mean, Carlton stole a little bit of the thunder that I you know, and I'm glad you did. I'm glad you made that point because that's the point that I wanted to make to Big Reuben, to everybody that's listening. And I just want to make this clear. If you want to get in on the discussion about Whitney Houston or anything else, feel free to call us at 804-726-3430. But that's what you do. When somebody's not here anymore, you go back and you reminisce over the reasons why they were important to you when they were here. Yes, we should say more nice things about a person while they're here. But if one of y'all is gone, as much as we clown, I'm going to be sad. And I'm going to be walking around talking about how great Big Rube was. But today, I kind of want to go over this table at you. You know what I'm saying? For what? You know, so, I mean, because that's just what we do. We fuss, we go back and forth. Like a couple weeks ago, I wanted to go over the table at
That's all right, we get him. You went to his
Carlton. But seriously, that's what you do. That's what you do when when you die and you have a memorial or you have a funeral, whether you're famous or not, they bring in some eloquently speaking guy in a robe to stand behind a microphone and make up real nice stuff to say about you, even if you was a no good Negro. You know what I'm saying?
Even if you committed suicide.
Even if you committed suicide. They're going to find somebody that's going to get up there and say some nice stuff about you. The point is, there wasn't a whole lot of stuff to say about you before. It's just the way it goes. You're not going to have a whole lot to say. Now, somebody like Whitney, they said some nice stuff about her last night on the BET Honors, and this was recorded before she died. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, she got accolades. Mm-hmm. Even through her trials and tribulations, which was well documented. Now, Grizzy touched on something that I definitely want to point out, because I had this discussion with people many times over the last 20 years since she married Bobby Brown.
Right.
And I grew up in Jersey City about less than 15 minutes. I mean, we're talking 10 minutes from where she grew up. And with all due respect to her town and mine, she ain't grow up in the suburbs.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And it just used to blow my mind.
How people
really annoy me how Big Rube, it drew my ire to hear people talk about how Bobby Brown brought her down.
Right.
I never liked it. It drove me crazy because I'm thinking to myself, you gonna be who you gonna be.
Mm.
If it's in you to smoke crack, then it's gonna be in you to smoke crack.
Yes, sir.
If
Preach.
it's in you to drink wine, then it's gonna be in you to drink wine. No man, no woman, no person is gonna make you smoke crack if it ain't in you to smoke crack. Now, we watched them since they divorced 4 or 5 years ago. Which one of the two of them seemed to have gotten their act together, and which one didn't?
Bobby B.
I'm not saying this to disrespect her memory, because anybody who's been listening over the last hour and 20 minutes knows this is a Whitney Houston friendly show. This is about honoring her.
But what's real is real.
Well, what's real is real. But I'm speaking to the point of people who wanted to give Bobby crap for bringing her down.
yeah.
And if you watch the show, being Bobby Brown, he came off as the normal one.
Yeah, I agree. Because, I talked to my mom a couple of days ago, and I advised her, I was like, Mom, it wasn't Whitney. It wasn't Bobby. It was Whitney. I was like, did you watch the TV show that Bobby had? She was like, no, nobody really watched it. And that's the problem, because nobody really watched it. Nobody really understood how their relationship went down. And, on that show, it showed that Bobby was sane as the next dude. And I'm not saying that Whitney was a bad person. I'm not saying she was a horrible person. I'm not saying she was a negative person. However, I will say that, I agree with Marcus in saying that it is real messed up how Bobby Brown got dragged under the mud, by all that garbage. And furthermore, back to the statement about we can't, whatever. I thought what NBC did with Betty White a couple months ago, which we talked on the show, was great. The problem is we don't do enough of that, and I feel like if we did more of that, it would be better for when times like this happen. It's easier to move on.
I feel you with that, but they get their awards, they get their accolades, they get the pub, they get the press. That's how it works. I was talking to some coworkers when the news broke on Sunday, and when they went to work on Monday, and some ladies was like, "Yeah, Bobby, if she didn't ever marry Bobby." Here's the thing, and I tell them, being that I'm not the greatest comedian. I just do my thing with that. I'm gonna tell you, there's a machine out here. It's an entertainment machine that will make a bum in Cleveland, Ohio, and give him his 15 minutes of fame and throw money at him and remake him and everything. So if the money is right, somebody out there can make you look like a saint when you really ain't or came from different humble beginnings.
I want to put a bow on this real quick. I think we had some good points. I respect everybody's opinion, and for the most part, I agree. One thing that I don't agree with is a lot of the talk that we've heard the last couple of days about the Grammys' response to Whitney Houston's passing.
Yeah.
You had a lot of people who felt that they hadn't done enough, and I disagree with that. And I've talked to people. You guys may disagree, and I'll give you an opportunity to make your point just really quick, because I want to wrap this segment up so we can go to Carlton's. But remember, she passed away about 28 hours before they went live. Now, we know that they could have taken time, do a video montage or what have you. They could have done that. They didn't. They stuck her at the end of the deceased people who they respect, who they didn't add Etta James, and they didn't add Don Cornelius or David Peaston, by the way. But they added, I had to get that out there. But they added Whitney Houston. They did that. And they flew in Jennifer Hudson, who wasn't even scheduled to be there. They flew her in. Now, for people who have an issue with that, keep in mind, they brought in one of the people who is arguably one of the greatest voices of the current generation, arguably, depending on your opinion. I don't think anybody could argue that she's a great voice. And sang Whitney Houston's signature song. This was her signature song. And did a great job. Did a great job of it.
Absolutely.
But at the end of the day, as great of a job as Jennifer Hudson did,
Ain't Whitney Houston.
It really, really struck me when I sat there with Miss J and we watched it, that as great as Jennifer Hudson did, her version didn't even come close to the version that Whitney had done every time she sang that song. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave it there. I want to appreciate. I just want to say I appreciate you guys and your positions on that and Big Rube. I thought you were gonna be a little bit more controversial, but I actually agreed with basically what you said. So we're gonna take a break. When we come back, we're gonna get into Carlton Banks segment. He wants to know what you think about it. Ain't no half stepping, Marcus J. We'll be back in a minute.